ready. This is going to be exciting.
And they got go restart zone to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
We're back at it once again. Premier action from the Save 22 Spring Series keeps rolling with Week 4 of the Cruisin Classics Premier Nextgen Series. Right here, right now, on V-Speed. For everyone here at V-Speed, I'm Jacob Blanke. Here alongside me is Ken Huber. We've got Eddie Smith in the booth and talented Dougie Beard providing tonight's cameras. Ken, it's good to be back.
It is, and we're at a really nice track. We're back at the old configuration of Atlanta, so it's going to be lots of fun in these next-gen cars. I don't think these next-gen cars have really touched this track before, and they also have a custom setup out there. Even though we're running fixed setups, they've got a very custom setup, which I had a chance to drive earlier today.
Yes, indeed. This evening's race brings us to Hampton, Georgia, and a classic stop on the NASCAR calendar, the Atlanta Motor Speedway. This 1.54-mile quad oval from a 1997 repave is loved by fans and drivers alike, requiring a little bit of luck and a whole lot of skill to keep the tires underneath it. More recent fans know it as the 2022 repave made it into a super speedway, as well as the rebrand to Echo Park, but we're rocking it old school tonight, Ken.
Yeah, old school, old tire wear. As I was mentioning with this setup that they're running, is kind of interesting because these guys are going to have to manage those tires really well. But the funny thing about the setup is it all depends on how you drive it. You can make the car really loose. You can make it really tight. And I seen during practice a lot of guys. Some of the guys are actually struggling with the setup. Some of the guys are very locked in.
Yes, indeed. One of those guys very locked in tonight is Jeremy Gardner. He's won 2 races in a row, including last week at Phoenix. Being able to hold off the likes of Logan Threlkeld and Jason Taylor. Can he make it 3 in a row?
Well, it's always possible. Jeremy Gardner was one of the faster guys during practice. And Jeremy Gardner does know how to win in these cars. One of the more finesse type drivers out there in Goat Locker. And these cars demand absolute precision when you get around with them really well. And Gardner does really good, but want to give James Silvers a shout out. He also won the first race of the season, as we're looking at the driver cams right now. But James Silvers has also got a win. So we've got at least 2 drivers locked into the chase right now. We're race number 4. So it's turning out to be a pretty good season.
Yep, winner at Daytona, James Silvers. Taking a look at our drivers with the driver cams: Chuck Feltz, Bobby Bender, Doug Basato, Jamie Lidke, Jake Ellingson, and Patrick Travick. All of these names I'm sure we're going to say more than once on multiple occasions tonight.
Yeah, and hopefully it's in a good way. Hopefully we don't see guys tearing it up in the wall. So, you know, the cars are so aero dependent too, so that's another issue that they'll be under strife with tonight here at Atlanta. You get the cars that'll come up right behind you. You get loose with this setup, and vice versa. You get really tight if you're behind. So it's going to be a lot of fun watching these guys manage those tires and manage the draft here tonight.
Yes, indeed. Since forming in 2013, Jam Printing and Promotions has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning. Local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. And look who it is winning our Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award. None other than the 57 of Jeremy Gardner. Chance Taylor going to be rolling off in P2. Tyler Justice rolling off in the third spot with James Silvers in fourth. Barrett Morton rolling off P5. P6 taken up by the 3 of Michael Kostick. Jason Taylor, a podium finisher last week, rolls off in P7. Corinne Smith in 8th. Patrick Drabick in the 07 rolls off 9th. And Levi McCarty rounds out your top 10.
On the inside in P11, you got Tyler Evans. Wesley Burke will be on his outside. Sammy Yosef will start in the lucky number P13 position with James Kaufman on his outside in 14th. Bobby Bender down there in the 15th position with Daniel Cunningham in the number 88 starting on his outside. Timothy Williams will start P17. Ashton Asaro Nolan will start 18th. Brian Provo back there in the 19th position with Charles Feltz in 20th.
Doug Macedo rolls off P21. Jamie Libke to the outside 22nd. Noah Hogard in 23rd. Michael Jones in the 2 rolls off 24th. Travis Gilbert in the 44, 25th. Jacob Ellingson opting not to take in time in 26th. Logan Threlkeld, our second place finisher from last week in 27th. And rounding out our 28 car field, Thaddeus Friel. I believe he's doing race control tonight.
So I was watching qualifying there, Jacob, and the one thing I noticed, you mentioned Jacob Ellingson not taking a time. I'm not sure if he has to serve a penalty from last week or not, but I can tell you Logan Threlkeld, who's also back there in that 27th position, he actually tore up that car during qualifying, had to pull another car off the hauler because he slapped the wall there and unable to get a time in. So that's why maybe some of these guys are sitting far back in the field for tonight's race.
Yep, and it will probably be to their benefit. Just get a slow roll early on. Just take care of the tires through the majority of the front sector of this one, and then you can go all out once you get the pit cycle over with.
Speaking of pit cycles, we're looking at about 55 to 60 laps. Got 100 laps here tonight at Atlanta. Pit road speed 50 miles an hour. They'll have 4 sets of tires, including the one they have in the car currently. 2 green, white checkered attempts, 100% fuel, and a iRacing fixed setup. Now, I mentioned earlier that this is a custom setup, so very neutral, very fun to drive. We're going to see how these guys get around. Like I said, they were kind of squirrely during practice, but I think they started getting sorted out towards the end of that session. So here it's race time. We're about to turn these cars loose. As I mentioned, you got about 55 to 60 laps on the pit cycle. So if we stay green, that's probably when you start seeing these guys head to pit lane. But we're about to send them racing.
Yes, indeed. Might see a lot of self-spins out of the bottom end of turn 2 and the exit of turn 4 going into the quad oval as the field rounds out through turn 3. Everybody's doubled up, getting ready to go. Pace car out of turn 4, the field close behind, cuts them loose through the extreme scoring restart zone, and we are rolling. Green flag in Hampton, Georgia.
Jeremy Gardner's away down there on the inside, and that red Save 22 machine's got the Chance Taylor there on his outside. Going to stay up on the outside lane, and it looks like Tyler Justice coming down low, and they all get single file right now. Actually, that's the 4 car of James Silvers. Tyler Justice is falling backwards.
Yep, Silvers and Kostick able to overtake the 33 of Tyler Justice. He tucks in behind as we're starting to string out here in the front.
Everybody getting single file all the way back to Corin Smith. There is the first car that I see too wide right there. But everybody trying to get this setup figured out. Right now we're looking at Jeremy Gardner, our 2 leaders up there with Chance Taylor right behind him.
These two starting to check out a little bit as we got battles further behind. Levi McCarty trying to make some headway after starting back in 10th. Wesley Burke and Tyler Evans dueling for position just in front.
Yeah, if you remember last week, Levi McCarty had that incident with Jeremy Gardner on close to the end of that race, had a little bump and run, allowed Gardner to win that race, take it away from McCarty. So if McCarty can get back up front, Jeremy Gardner is going to make Jeremy Gardner a little nervous.
Might be a little bit of payback in store from the 51. Meanwhile, Jason Taylor falling back, as well as Barrett Morton. Patrick Drabick up 3 spots into 6th.
Yeah, there's some movers and some losers out there so far. You're looking at Barrett Morton there on the outside of Patrick Drabick, making that outside lane work as they go across the start-finish line. He's going by Tyler Justice, but he's held up by the 3 car there. So Michael Kostick will hold up that 9's momentum there on the outside.
Kostick changed his lane. He's up 3 spots into P3. Those two wide, 2 by 2, as the leaders start to check out.
Yeah, and that's what Jeremy Gardner liked to see, all those guys racing behind him. But it looks like everybody's behaving right now. I think they're just feeling it out. I don't see anybody really overdriving the car. Oh, and as soon as I say that, it looked like Silver's almost drifted up. We got him 3 wide back there. It looks like Drabick, Tyler Justice, and Barrett Morton. Tyler Justice in the middle there, and they made that survive.
Levi barely backing off just in time so he didn't make bumper contact with the 33. Barrett Morton getting through. There's a car way loose to the inside. He's going to gather it up. That's Tyler Evans in the 77.
Yeah, he gathers that car back up, back on the track, but I don't know if he's done yet. He drifted up there a little bit. We're back looking at Justice here. So Justice now on the inside in that yellow and black 33 car. Getting past there on the outside. It looks like that position is going to, as McCarty goes by on the outside, way up on the top of there as we ride a long board here with McCarty. Going to get right behind Barrett Morton. Take a look to the inside, dive down to the inside as they head down into 3.
Once again, McCarty, one of the only drivers we see ripping that top lane anywhere we go, cashing in that momentum to get past and get that 6th position.
You can see he's got Patrick Drabick just ahead of him, but Barrett Morton hasn't quite given up that position now. Barrett Morton challenging back on the inside. McCarty gets held up by Drabick now a little bit. Was unable to send it in there, but Barrett Morton now coming on the outside as they go down the backstretch.
Yep, those two still 2 by 2. McCarty is going to have a little bit of momentum to cash in on the inside. Morton may have the advantage going through the quad oval, and Tyler Justice looks like he's going to follow suit.
Yeah, Tyler Justice looks like he's backed it down just a little bit. McCarty looking for a hole to slip in there. Couldn't quite get in there. Going to send it down low. It looks like Drabick just in front of him might be saving equipment, saving tires a little bit, riding behind Silvers as we're watching this battle between Morton and McCarty just behind him.
And it looks like we're settling out a little bit. McCarty deciding to tuck in line right in front of Tyler Justice. Drabick making a move to the inside of Silvers as Morton hops back up to that top lane to try and catch both of them.
Watching Silvers now on the outside, under attack from Drabick right there in that 07 car. Drabick going low as they go into turn 1 here. See if Drabick can carry enough momentum, but you can see Silvers just shot to the outside and is going to be able to keep that position as they go down the backstretch.
Yep, drag race for the position behind. That is Levi McCarty and Barrett Morton once again side by side. Morton up top. He's going to have the advantage through the quad oval.
Yeah, McCarty really shoved it in between Tyler Justice and Barrett Morton there. It was very close there. Almost caught the front bumper of Tyler Justice when he slid up there. Tyler Justice had to check up, but that outside lane's got a lot of momentum right now. And McCarty's trying to find a way to get this pass done, but he just can't get the momentum off the corners.
Yep, those two are glued side by side right now. McCarty going to pull up just even with Morton here through turns 3 and 4, maybe a little bit ahead, but Morton's going to carry all of that speed through the top lane of the corner. The only advantage here is if this goes long, McCarty might have the advantage because Morton's going to burn his stuff up.
Well, right now, McCarty has got him clear. The question is, yeah, there he goes. He did the slide job right now. Car was a little loose, but Barrett Morton's going to come up behind, give him a little tap there, and push him up to Drabick.
Tyler Justice might be looking for a move, and he's going to think better of it. Meanwhile, we're on board with the 27 of Jacob Ellingson making moves further back in the field.
Yeah, Ellingson currently running in the 16th position there. looks all calm and collected for the moment, so hopefully he can keep it that way. He was very fast during practice, so I imagine we'll see Ellingson running his way up front here, maybe just saving equipment. He's got Timothy Wilms just ahead of him. That's the next car in his sight picture, as well as Jason Taylor there. Looking to the outside there, both those cars up high as we ride along. What a nice view there from the camera work here.
Jacob Ellingson, massive loose snap out of turn 4. He is still your biggest mover, but he made that save. Noah Hogard gets by, and everybody's still managing to keep it underneath, as we might start to see that a lot more often from some of these front runners.
This is one of the nice things about this setup. This setup allows you to, control the car in a way, if you want it to be tight or loose over a long run, you can control it. I really like the way this setup feels, and I think Jacob Ellingson was probably leaning on the rear tires a little bit, and those tires got hot, and probably a little bit of aero push from the back. Almost got that car sent around. And another thing about this setup, it's very difficult to save once you get it sideways like that, unlike some of the other fixed setups we run, where these cars are pretty easy to save for the most part, but not here at Atlanta tonight.
Barrett Morton might have burned it up. He has conceded spots. Levi McCarty gotten past. Tyler Justice, Wesley Burke, and now Daniel Cunningham getting past the 9 machine as he is dropping like a rock.
Yeah, Daniel Cunningham by now the 25 right now. You can see James Kaufman just behind Barrett Morton in that yellow machine. We're riding on board with...
Whoa, Silvers.
Oh, Silvers, yeah. The Silvers is really slow there down on the inside. And Silvers now going backwards. I'm trying to... I have to go back and see who that was. I think that was Daniel Cunningham.
We were on board with Cunningham. We saw that big loose snap by the 4 machine of Silvers as he is trying to stem the bleeding here. He's back to 8th right now. Cunningham probably going to get by once we get to the backstretch.
Yeah, they've got Wesley Burke just in front of him there, and it looks like Silvers is going to slide up in front of Cunningham. It looked a little close, but have a nice little blimp shot here. It wasn't quite as close as the other time we seen McCarty slide it in there, but Silvers gathering it back up, working on the back of Wesley Burke right now, closing that gap down.
Some of those words you just want to hear, or you don't want to hear, not clear on that one. Levi McCarty now able to get past Michael Kostick for the 3rd spot as these cars are starting to gather it up, but they are currently sitting 3 seconds behind our top 2 runners.
Yeah, it depends on how much our top 2 guys have saved. I know Gardner is a master at saving tires with these cars. We're looking at our leader right now, the front 2, Chance Taylor and Jeremy Gardner. Chance Taylor right behind, right in his tire tracks. Meanwhile, McCarty back there having a battle right now. He's got Drabick behind him, as well as the 3 car of Michael Kostick. So there's a battle right behind these guys. You can see it there, and they get that all sorted out. You can see Silvers now down on the inside.
The whole gaggle, almost entirely single file back here. Silvers looking to the inside of the 04 Wesley Burke. We got a good onboard shot from the back bumper of the 51 of Levi McCarty, watching Patrick Drabitt inch his way closer through the quad oval.
Yeah, and McCarty all the way up against the wall. You can see the sparks fly there. Just barely drags that rear quarter panel on the wall. But he carried a lot of momentum off the corner, opened up that gap on Patrick Drabick quite a bit there. Now the 3 is attacking Patrick Drabick, so you can see Michael Kostick now looking to maybe take that spot away from Drabick. But so far, Drabick is holding on.
All the while, Tyler Justice waiting in the wings, trying to get the position on Michael Kostick, and I think he might have it going through turns 1 and 2. He's got the position and the preferred lane going through the backstretch.
Yeah, going through 1 and 2 on the outside is definitely faster. Really carry a lot of momentum there. Now Tyler Justice moving his way back up after that start. Tyler Justice was kind of a pinball, but he's found his groove right now, moved himself back up into that top 5 position. So Tyler Justice now having a good, solid night so far.
Yep, made it back up, so he's only made a net loss of 2 spots back up to 5th. Further back, we're taking a look at Travis Gilbert at the lead of this battle right here with him. Got Tyler Evans, Timothy Wilms, and Jacob Ellingson a little bit in the middle of this one as well.
Yeah, it looked like Williams got the wall back there really quick. I'm not really sure, but you can see back there, got the 27 as well. That's Jacob Ellingson trying to work his way back up. Now you can see the 27 going by on the outside, and he's almost got that pass complete there on Tyler Evans. And like I said, that outside lane there through 1 and 2 is super quick.
You know, Jacob Ellingson, always a fast driver in these, and in this one in particular, going from back to front, he's putting that car to work. And you know where you can put your potential to work, Ken?
Oh, I can imagine. There's a great place to put your potential. Maybe Lincoln Tech is what you're thinking about?
Yes, indeed. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They are one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 30 campuses. Lincoln Tech, put your potential to work.
And that's what Ellington is doing right now, putting that potential to work that he's got in that 27 Camaro out there. So he's still running on the outside, trying to put some pressure on Timothy Wilms. Doesn't look like he has quite the speed he had in that car earlier, so those tires might be starting to see a little bit of wear as we're a quarter of the way into this race already.
Yep, and something I want to mention, a lot of these cars through here look like they've already got nose damage. I thought that was what the case was. iRacing rolled out a new model, which is the 2026 model for the Camaro. And a lot of the Camaro paint schemes are misaligned to where the hood looks like it's sitting further back. And it just looked a little wrong from what I was taking a look at. You can definitely see it on the cars with like the brighter, like the white hoods and everything. Like Ellingson showed it, Travick showed it, and Tyler Justice, you can see it in the Dayglow hood as well.
Yeah, I was wondering how that was going to look tonight because I know a lot of drivers didn't have a chance to update their sponsors and their logos and stuff. So I wasn't sure how that was going to be. The car looks good. It's not too bad, but some guys still have some work to do there in the paint booth.
Yes, indeed. 26 laps into this one. Michael Kostick battling with the likes of Wesley Burke, trying to keep those positions from the front run they had before, just barely getting past for 6th.
Yeah, the 3, Kostick going by Burke now there on the outside. Burke slipping back. Kostick just trying to keep in line there with Tyler Justice. Tyler Justice holding on tight to Patrick Drabick. And I'm sure that 3 car would like to just get single file and try to chase down our leaders right now. Jeremy Gardner's got a 3-second lead, almost a 3-second lead over Levi McCarty. And that gap really hasn't changed since Levi's been able to get up to that 3rd spot. But it looks like Jeremy Gardner and Chance Taylor might be minding that gap up front.
Yep, Taylor's finally dropped off the back of the 57, on board with Michael Kostick, looking at the back of the 33 machine as they head through 3 and 4 into the quad oval.
Yeah, so these cars are going to start dancing around now that we're starting to get some wear on here. We're about halfway through a fuel run right now. And so I imagine if we stay green, we'll probably see these guys start to pit after lap 50 sometime. Some guys might change up the strategy, pit a little bit early. There is enough fuel to go a little bit longer, like I said, up to about 60 laps. But they also need to save that for the green-white checker, and we've had a few green-white checkers here already this season.
Yes, indeed. A lot of people still opting to go side-by-side further back, taking a look at Timothy Wilms, Samuel Joseph in the 24 with Noah Hogard battling for the back end of the top 20 right now. The 16th position on offer as Joseph tucks in behind the 77.
Yeah, Joseph there. I thought he was going to go 3 wide there. Now, yeah, he swings it up to the wall there. That rear end stepped out there, almost connected with the wall there, but going to tuck in behind Tyler Evans right there. You can see Noah Hogard back there in that white and blue machine, hanging on steady. This is all the battle for the 16th position.
Yep, on board with Noah Hogard, chasing down that 24 of Samuel Joseph. He's got the Liberty University, but it's been covered over with Old Dominion, I think. Whoa!
77 loose again, had to really come out of the throttle there. So you can see Tyler Evans here. That car got really loose on him, had to come out of the throttle, but he was able to hang on to it, but he lost a couple positions there.
Yep, we were taking a look at Hogard trying to chase down Joseph. Jason Taylor had dropped some spots as well in that 60. I need to be careful to say it properly. It's the untied Retinal's Mustang.
Okay, I'll let you say that. That's easy for you to say there.
It's supposed to be a Ryan Parise United Reynolds paint scheme, but he's got all the words spelled wrong.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
It running side by side with the 77 of Tyler Evans, fighting for the 18th spot as we get towards the 1/3 mark of this one on lap 32 now.
Yeah, I was going to just say here that we got Levi starting to close down on our leaders of Chance Taylor and Jeremy Gardner. I'd mentioned that those two drivers look like they were minding the gap up front, but never count out Levi McCarty. He is running these guys down slowly but surely, about a 10th a lap currently.
The other thing you got to think about, Levi was pushing pretty hard to get up through traffic, and he's pushing a little too hard right now as he gets up into the wall trying to chase down the 14 of Chance Taylor, who's gone uncontested thus far tonight.
Yeah, and I think Levi was running in clean air there, and as he started getting up on the back of Chance Taylor, that's why that car, I think, drifted up into the wall. He wasn't expecting that. Forgot about a little bit of that aero push. Now, Levi McCarty is known as a great aero blocker, but maybe not so good in the draft. I don't know.
One thing's for sure, he picks his line, and he's not going to change it for anybody. We've seen him rip the top here. He's running the bottom here right now, trying to get a little bit less heat in those tires. Tucks in behind Chance Taylor, and that started to bring the rest of this pack up to them as Patrick Dravic looks on in the background.
Oh, Taylor in the wall. Yeah, Taylor hits the wall just like McCarty did, only a little bit harder. Taylor really pushing that 14 car, trying to stay ahead of Levi McCarty, but that might be a lost cause if he keeps it up.
Well, one thing's for sure, the longer he battles with McCarty, the more problems he's going to have leading up into this one as he gets up into the wall through 1 and 2. McCarty might have the momentum to get him into 3 here.
Yeah, and while these guys are fighting it out, I see Dravic closing into this picture as well. You see Levi driving it down there on the inside there. 14 able to keep it out of the wall this time. Looks like Levi's going to accomplish this pass, just drifted up in front of him. 14 is going to take a peek down on the inside now as they head down towards 1.
Yep, what happened is Chance had to lift because he was pushing up so hard into the corner. Tires got a lot more heat in them as McCarty brushes the wall ever so slightly. He's going to have a lot of momentum getting out of turn 2.
Yeah, so during that battle, Levi McCarty lost about 4/10 on our leader, Jeremy Gardner, but now that he's got that 14 car clear, he might be able to chase Gardner down. We'll have to wait and see, but like I said, that crucial pit stop is going to be coming up here in about 15 laps as well.
That's if he can keep the rubber on those tires with the company that's pushing a little bit further back. Patrick Dravic, Wesley Burke, side by side further back. Burke trying to get by for 4th.
Yeah, Burke pushes up, though. It has to get out of the throttle, and that's going to allow Dravic to get back by. Burke made a valiant attempt there, but couldn't quite make it happen there. Looks like that driver is going to drive it down now on the inside once again, but that outside... Oh, Dravic in the wall. 4 into the Dravic. That was a close call there, so Dravic tags the wall there. That allows Burke. Burke's still there. Hasn't given up, surrendered that position, but Burke's just about got Dravic clear, but this is where that outside lane really carries a lot of momentum, and it looks like Burke's got the pass made for now as Dravic takes a peek down on the inside.
There's a lot of vibration. You can see the shake in the camera of Patrick Dravic. He's down on the bottom trying to get to the back bumper of Wesley Burke. Burke's going to have the advantage on the outside. He's going to relent the spot as they're both tracking down Chance Taylor.
Watching these drivers, what a great battle so far. Clean and green, just the way I like to see it. Looking at Wesley Burke now working on the 14 car. Got Dravic clear, trying to get that 14. The 14's been in the wall a couple of times. Well, I should say Wesley Burke's been into other drivers as well. So both those cars maybe with a little bit of side panel damage on those machines, but Burke is looking super strong out there at the moment.
They're both running side by side, exiting into the quad oval. Chance Taylor with the advantage. Wesley Burke going to make another challenge down into turn 1.
You've seen there at the top of your screen Levi McCarty go by just ahead of these two drivers. Wesley Burke's just about got the 14 clear. Probably slide up right there. We'll see if the 14 tries to do the undercut. Nope, going to fall in line there, realizing that he's been beat in that corner.
Chance Taylor going to relent that spot. Wesley Burke going to take that advantage and try and chase down the 51 of McCarty, who's slowly but surely ticking away at Jeremy Gardner's lead.
Yeah, slowly but surely. I just looked at the timing and scoring there. He gained, I think it was almost 3/10 that last lap. So in one lap, he gained 3/10. So he might be putting the hammer down as we're almost to the halfway point of this race. We're watching Dravik now. Dravik working on Chance Taylor right now, down on the inside, trying to take that position away from Chance. Move Dravik up to the 4th position. Perhaps if he can get the run off the bottom, nope. Chance Taylor's going to fight back hard as they go across the start-finish line.
Almost barely, maybe some contact between the 07 and 14 through the exit of turn 4. Taylor taking that top lane, trying to hold on to that momentum over Dravik as they exit turn 2.
Yeah, that 1 and 2 top line is just so strong. Now that's going to set the 3 car there, try to get around Dravik. You can see Michael Kostick right now in that black number 3 car. Down on the inside, and it looks like he's got Dravik clear so far, and it looks like he's going to take him down across the start-finish line. So move that driver, the number 3 of Michael Kostick, back up a position.
And it's not done yet as we got another challenger, Travis Gilbert, up 19 spots as he gets a nose on Dravik right there. Dravik's going to have it down the backstretch, but Gilbert challenging for position now.
Yeah, that was one of those things. Dravik, he got in a situation where he had to back out. Now he's fallen into clutches of lots of other drivers there. I think it's just one simple mistake with the arrow, and that just sets you back. And now you have to gather it up and get mentally focused on what you're doing out there because, you don't want to start going backwards as we're getting towards the pit cycle.
All of these guys getting bottled together like this on the late run shows you how much just running your line can be beneficial. Chance Taylor was up, 2 seconds ahead of everybody at the beginning of this run. Travis Gilbert, he was back in almost 25th. Everybody has come collected to this area right now because of the lines they've been running, and Travis Gilbert just might have enough in it to get past Chance Taylor for 5th here.
Well, we've seen Travis Gilbert do this before, come from the back, run it up front, going to drift in front of the 14. Oh, not clear. But they saved it, and thankfully Chance Taylor probably lifted and cut that 44 brake, knowing that that was a potential incident happening there. So going to go back and take a look. Oh, I guess we did go back and take a look. Here's the replay.
Yep, taking a look on the nose of Chance Taylor. Travis Gilbert just barely pushing up as Taylor was getting that run off of turn 2. He might have cut him a break there, but I don't think he's going to get another break like that in the future.
Well, I want to talk about another driver, too, as we're watching the 7 try to make another attempt on the 14 car. I don't think that's going to quite happen yet, but Dravik trying to gather it back up. But Barrett Morton is sitting back there just behind these guys. You can see Barrett Morton. That's the driver I wanted to talk about. We've seen him drift back at the start of this race, but now he's starting to claw his way back up front. So you can see it in that purple and white number 9 car down on the inside. Now going to take a look underneath Patrick Dravik. So it looks like the 9 has been saving tires and trying to work his way up front as we're making it to the halfway point.
With the 9 taking a moment to cool himself off, cool his tires down, run just a conservative line. And as we're getting toward the halfway point in this one, he's turning on the jets, and he is already by the 07.
Yeah, I don't think Dravik, well, we're going to go into 1 and 2, and that turns 1 and 2 on the outside is super strong, but I don't think Dravik's going to be able to hold off that 9 car. If he can, this will probably be the only corner he's going to be able to do it, but once they get into 3 and 4, that 9 car is going to get by. Looks like it might even already have the position here as they go down the backstretch, and that 9 car is going to start checking out.
Yep, they were side by side for a little bit, but the 9 is going to have that good run through 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Travis Gilbert taking the position on the 4th spot over Michael Kostick through the quad oval.
Yeah, and moved that driver up another position right now. Got Wesley Burke now going to set his sights on that machine, that 04, that black that black 04 as we're watching maybe the start of our pit cycle, seeing Jacob Ellingson now on pit lane.
Yep, Ellingson, the only car thus far besides Doug Bacedo to take a pit stop, going for all 4 tires, and he's trying to go for the undercut to get a bunch of positions once everybody else comes in. You see Dravik pulling into the background.
Spending a lot of time on pit road there. It looks like there must be some kind of issue there with that car. So tough luck for Jacob Ellingson. I see the 07 and 60 are on pit lane. That's Patrick Dravik and Jason Taylor now. So we're starting to see our leaders head to pit lane right at the halfway point.
Yep, I'm interested to see who else is going to be making it down pit road. Jeremy Gardner opts to bypass this time, but we do have another taker, and that is it looks like that might be Bobby Ben. Nope, that's Ashton Acero Nolan in the 21, the Bush machine, as Patrick Dravick finishes his stop and makes his way off pit road.
Yeah, Gardner's got, about a second and a half over Levi McCarty, a little bit less, a second and some change. And so Gardner's watching this pit cycle happen, and he wants to stay out as long as possible. He's got that gap. He can let Levi go in a lap before he does and still maintain the lead. And I think that's the strategy he's got to employ. Stay out as long as possible, be the last car to take those fresh tires as he's watching everybody behind him go to pit lane. So I'm sure he's watching his relative, looking at Wesley Burke, Travis Gilbert, Levi McCarty, seeing when those guys are going to head to pit lane. As we're watching a bunch of other drivers head to pit lane right now, but that's Gardner's strategy.
And we're seeing Barrett Morton, Chance Taylor, Jamie Lipke on pit road, James Kaufman with either a speeding penalty or an unsafe entry in that 25 machine. He's going to have to serve a black flag.
Yeah, already. This is some of the first green flag pit stops we've seen all season. So these guys, that new setup that they're running out here must have done these guys some good here. As we're watching some hot wings come into pit lane there, you can see all the smoke there sliding sideways, trying to get that car woed up to pit lane.
Tyler Evans looked like that was not Tyler Evans. I think that was Noah Hogard, barely clipped the cone there. I'd be surprised to see if he doesn't escape without a penalty. As we got Jeremy Gardner getting bypassed with the fresh tires of Jason Taylor. Another car that is off. That's Wesley Burke running in the top 5. Ends up barely getting into the pit lane. So we're going to take a look at their entry right here.
Getting on board with Wesley Burke, trying to get this car woed up and yet trying to get it slowed up. And it almost gets into the back of that other car trying to head to pit lane. But I don't know if there's going to be a penalty on that car as well. That'll be a tough break for Wesley Burke. But I guarantee you that Gardner's watching all this on his relative, and he knows probably in the next lap or two he's going to head to pit lane.
It looks like no penalty for Wesley Burke for the unsafe entry. Speeding penalty for Travis Gilbert, as we just watched. Took it a little too hot on entry, and he's gonna give out his top 5 running spot.
Yeah, these cars are very tricky on the brakes. I'm watching our leader right now. So this is Jeremy Gardner. We're going to see when he heads pit lane. He's going to stay out another lap. And he's got Michael Kostek, who's still also on the track. Kostek now headed to pit lane. So that number 3, that black number 3, is getting his service done. So that's some of the last of the front runners making their pit stop. So now Gardner has to figure out, make a decision here. Do I come or do I try to stay out another lap or two?
Bobby Bender with a speeding penalty, as it seems right now. Brian Provo down taking his stop. 10 cars having not gone down pit road yet, and I think we're going to see Gardner this time by. If he can get it back down in time, it looks like yes.
Yeah, and that's scary right there. He's got all those cars on fresh tires right behind him. He's trying to get woed up, and he's like, oh, please, dear God, don't let these cars hit me. He's going to run up to the back of that 96 car trying to get his pit stop made there, but Gardner making maybe his last stop of the night.
Yep, Daniel Cunningham, Timothy Wilms taking it down pit road right now. Logan Threlkeld inheriting the lead for the moment.
Yep, we got Logan Threlkeld up front. If you remember, he had that struggles during qualifying, started pretty much dead last on the field. Now he's leading this thing, getting some bonus points out there. We'll see what he can do after he makes his pit stop, but he's probably right now praying for a caution. That car is very low on fuel at the moment, so I imagine he can only go maybe 2 more laps at best. As we see some of these other drivers, it looks like Sammy Yosef headed to pit lane. So Logan Threlkeld may be one of the last guys out there trying to hang on for a caution flag.
And I am glad we're getting some camera time on that machine. The number 30 sporting a Greg Biffle throwback to the patriotic Post-it National Guard. And getting some time up front is good for the soul, just watching this happen.
Yeah, out there leading some laps, and like I said, hoping for that caution. Tyler Evans looks like he's still out there. Tyler Evans in the 77 car. He's had some struggles out there. He's about 4 seconds behind Logan Threlkeld. These drivers all hoping for a caution. And how about that Corin Smith out there in the 3rd position in the 10 car?
Levi McCarty looks to be leading Jeremy Gardner as they go to unlap themselves around the cars that are still out. Jeremy Gardner might be taking a look to the inside of McCarty to inherit the lead once we all get by.
Yeah, looking I think Gardner's got a lap or two fresher tires than Levi. Levi going to take another quick look down on the inside, but I think that outside is where Gardner's going to stick and going to be able to hold on to that position. We'll see. Levi McCarty very aggressive.
Oh, he pushes
into
up
the back. Oh, Gardner in the wall. We talked about that at the start there, Jacob. That incident at Phoenix might have been no love lost there, and Levi just said, you know what, I'm going to go by you no matter what.
Oh my goodness, Gardner getting put into the wall as it looked like McCarty pushed tight. Back on the backstretch, we see McCarty take to the inside and just keep in it. Yep, pushes up off the bumps in turn 3, clips the... I don't know if I can put too much blame on McCarty, but he had to have known he was going to do that.
Yeah, he's a solid driver. He's very fast, so you know there's no love lost between these two drivers. But Gardner is back now, challenging on the inside. I thought there might be a little more damage, might affect the aero on that 57 car of Gardner, but still holding strong. I think Gardner, you know, that's going to set a fire under Gardner, and he knows it. Gardner's locked in. Levi McCarty is not locked into this playoff situation yet, although he'd probably do it on points, no doubt. He's a very strong driver, but we'll see how this all plays out. But look at that, Barrett Morton just ahead of these guys.
We're not seeing a lot of damage on the 57, but we might be seeing a lot of damage on the 51 here shortly. Seeing Jeremy Gardner and Levi McCarty push up toward the back of Barrett Morton. Morton having taken his pit stop. Patrick Drabick currently in the hot seat to inherit the lead here as these two are going to split him through 3 and 4. Gardner pushing up into Morton. McCarty in the wall. What a great move by those two. McCarty able to cover off, but Gardner's hot on his heels.
Well, earlier I was going to say Gardner looked like he tried to use the 9 car as a pick and try to pin the 51 back there. Couldn't quite do it. And then that put Morton in the middle, and then now you see these two back in line now with the 51 still leading this thing. But I guarantee you, Gardner, he wants this position back. Drabick now is the next car up in front of these guys. So Drabick loving this battle up there, hoping these guys continue to battle it out. And look, we got another leader up there, Michael Jones. We haven't talked about him all night tonight while these guys are battling there in the 2 car. He's currently getting passed by some lap traffic, though. 2 car is very slow. Well, not very slow, but slower on the pace.
Michael Jones and James Silvers having not taken their pit stop. James Silvers now taking the option to take the pit stop, leaving the 2 as the only car that hasn't come down. We're taking a look at this battle for the second. It's going to be inheriting the second spot. Levi McCarty still to the outside of Jeremy Gardner as they battle through the quad oval and into 1.
Yeah, the way these guys are going at it, you'd think this is the end of the race. They still got a ways to go. They got 36, 35 laps to go, but they're battling like it's the last lap of the race. Gardner down on the inside. Neither one of them want to give an inch here. Gardner now has to fall back in line. Levi McCarty covers off the bottom. And that might send Gardner up to the top there, maybe try a run up high, but no such doing just at this moment.
Levi McCarty, Jeremy Gardner battling for second and third. Patrick Drabick inherits the lead after the end of this full pit cycle. 66 laps green. We're 2/3 of the way through this one, and we're watching another battle between the 2 runners further behind Drabick.
Yeah, we're just looking off the rear bumper of Drabick there. You can see Levi McCarty and Jeremy Gardner back there still battling it out. And, you know, Patrick Drabick's got to be loving it at this moment. The more those guys just drive the wheels off that car, but it does seem like they're reeling in Drabick just a little bit as well. But Drabick might be saving. I know he's a smart racer. You can see Levi McCarty running that very high line up there. Gardner trying to get by, but Gardner's been more focused on the low line all night compared to McCarty, where McCarty's been up high, so I'm not surprised by the 2 different lines we're seeing.
On the topic of saving, with mention of Patrick Drabick, you can support the sport and the mission with Goat Locker Racing at glrwebstore.com. You'll find quality racing apparel, hats, and gear. Every purchase supports veterans, active military, and first responders. Your order also helps fuel our mission and fight back against mental health challenges facing our community. Great gear, real purpose. Visit glrwebstore.com. as we are starting to wind down to the end of this one.
Well, these two guys, like I said, have been running down Gardner, running their own separate lines, running side by side, and still running down our leader there of Patrick Dravick. So they are there. So now we're looking at a 3-car battle for the lead. Gardner down on the inside, McCarty on the outside, Dravick just ahead of him. Dravick right in the middle of the track there. I'm curious to how much Dravick might have been saving there, but these guys are coming.
Both of these guys running side by side have caught up a second on Patrick Dravick running by himself in clean air. As we got him 3 wide right now, exiting turn 3. Gardner pushes up into McCarty. Everybody's door banging as they come across the stripe.
3 wide across the start-finish line. They're still 3 wide. Dravick now caught on the outside. McCarty down in the middle. Almost drifts up into Dravick.
Oh,
Dravick
no!
sideways. Dravick had to get out of it, saves that car, but lives to fight another day. But now Barrett Morton's coming into this picture just behind Dravick, but Gardner's still on the inside of McCarty.
McCarty took that middle line, dove it further in, trying to get the edge on Gardner, ended up unsettling Dravick further back. Both of these guys still side by side for the lead.
This is where Dravick was a victim of these two guys just fighting it out. So Dravick was the unlucky guy that just caught in somebody else's fight. So, he's up there trying to mind his own business, trying to maintain the lead. And these two guys just are relentless with each other right now. Now, Dravick under pressure from just behind. Barrett Morton on the inside of Dravick. Dravick about to lose another position. Currently, Dravick is down in the 4th, going to hold it back on the outside, going to move back into that 3rd position. Barrett Morton going to fall back in line.
I do not blame him one bit. That would have rattled me too, having those two battling as hard as they have all race. Out of the pit cycle, just full steam ahead. Both of these guys fighting once again, side by side, advantage McCarty into 3.
Yeah, they're not going to let each other up for the rest of this race. 29 laps to go. I imagine this is what we're going to see. I don't know if these guys are going to wear out their equipment. One driver, I talked about earlier, I called him out, is that number 9 of Barrett Morton, currently sitting back there just behind these guys with Dravick. And it looks like Chance Taylor now back there, but Barrett Morton was very smooth. We're going to look back at, Kostick in the wall.
Looks like he just pulled loose out of turn 4. We're going to watch the onboard here as we take a look more so at his wheel than anything. And it looks like, yep, he pulls it, snaps out of turn 4, claps the wall, and that might be day done for the 3-car.
Yeah, he's definitely going back. No caution, no quick repairs. Now we're back at this lead battle here. Gardner down on the inside. McCarty way up high, but looks like we got another car there. Chance Taylor closing in on this. He wants a piece of this action, and this might be where these guys have made a mistake.
That is the lap car of Michael Jones. Ended up getting a speeding penalty. That's the 2-car on fresh tires compared to these guys who have been on their tires since almost like the midway of this race. So he is trying to get as much of an advantage as he can to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, my mistake there. But the 9-car, Barrett Morton off the track there. He got sideways, drove it down on the grass. He's been spending half a lap just trying to gather this car up. We're going to go back and take another look. So he gets an arrow loose there off of Dravick, getting behind him there. He gets by Dravick, and then that arrow push just sends the rear end of that car around. He still can't quite save it. Down on the grass, going through the bumps, gets it down on the apron, but he's back on the track. But he's down to the 7th position now.
Those bumps on the exit of turn 4 have been treacherous all night for these drivers. McCarty still ripping that top line as we are under 25 to go.
Yeah, I can't believe that we haven't had a caution. I shouldn't jinx it, but the way these guys are driving these cars right now, there almost should be. But we're looking, these guys are about to lap James Silvers. If you remember, James Silvers was running up front tonight. And James Silvers, I believe he had that speeding penalty on pit lane, so that's why he's so far back there. But that's how fast these guys are starting to run these guys down. James Silvers currently running in the 14th position, last car on the lead lap, just ahead of him in that green and white machine.
Silvers is struggling right now. He's on 11-lap-old tires, but you saw him clap the wall there in the middle of turns 1 and 2. On board with Jeremy Gardner trying to track down Levi McCarty. Could we see a move like we saw at Phoenix?
Oh, we definitely could. Gardner's going to remember that move. You would think that was payback. Levi already got the payback with that move that we seen earlier. But, Gardner, he's going to be calm and collected, and if he can get to him at the end of this thing, and that's what Gardner's going to do. I don't think these guys have any love lost with each other.
Not at all. Still advantage McCarty because he's been ripping that high line, but how long before his tires start to give out? When he's ripping the top line like that, he's putting a lot more heat in the tires, and Gardner's been running a lot more conservative line through the corners. It's only a matter of time before we see that come to fruition.
Well, that's why I called out Chance Taylor earlier. You can see Chance Taylor just sitting back there. The way these guys have been racing, I got to think that Chance is able to just, I'm looking at the wrong car again there. That's the 14 of, yeah, I'm sorry, that's Phelps. So I'm looking at another lap car, I guess. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's the 2 of Michael Jones. I am all over the place there. Chance Taylor sitting a little bit further back there.
Yep, Taylor ended up getting past Drabick. Michael Jones opting to let these two fight it out, which is honestly an admirable move considering he's got the fresher tires out of all 3 of them. Gardner now side by side with the 51 again. McCarty got the advantage into the backstretch again as they're both catching the 4 James Silvers.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's any damage on that 57 car of Jeremy Gardner, because he did slap that wall pretty hard, but so far able to hang on to the back of Levi McCarty there. Levi McCarty looking for that first win of the season, so going to push it really hard. I think Levi thought he had the win last week at Phoenix, but Gardner was able to run him down. Gardner was quick and just gave him a little bit of a nudge there into turns 1 and 2, I believe it was, moved McCarty out of the way. That allowed Gardner to get his second win of the season, so Levi's really fighting hard to get his first win of the season.
And it is going to be well fought if he can manage. He's got the one guy that can beat him right now as we got another car taking off down the inside. I believe that's Ashton DeSero Nolan in the Busch car.
Whoa.
One in the wall. Caution is out for the first time in Atlanta. Acero Nolan nose into the wall off of the quad oval.
It's going to change everything. It's going to make it a sprint to the finish here. We're going to take another look, see what happened to the 21 car here. This goes up there. Yeah, kisses the wall there on turn 4 on the exit. Driving it down does the same thing that Barrett Morton does. But Ashton trying to gather it up, hits that bump and just sends the car up into the outside retaining wall, and that brings out the caution.
Almost collected Patrick Drabick in that as well as a few more of our leaders. We're going to take a look from the onboard of the 07 here, making his way out of turn 4 through the quad oval. You can see Acero up there, and that concrete patch just the edge of the grass just sending him up. Drabick able to barely make it down below as the 21 was coming back down the track.
Well, this is going to change everything, and I can tell you that Levi McCarty was starting to pull away from Gardner right before that caution came out, and this is probably the last thing that he wanted to see. These drivers are going to be able to come down, get 4 fresh tires, and then it's going to be a shootout here for the end of this race. So that's going to put some real pressure on that 51 machine. You know, Gardner's already locked in. He's already got a fire in his belly. Don't count out that 44 though, or the the 44 that's also had a good night out there. But or actually he's a lap down. Boy, am I confused tonight. So I'm actually looking at I'm looking at Chance Taylor and Patrick Drabick now as they make their way down the pit lane.
Everybody opting for fresh tires and likely fuel. Question is, do we see anybody take 2 here?
Oh, I don't know. I don't, I've heard that the next gen cars are pretty good on 2 tires. Might see some guys further back might try that. I think I'm 4 tires here. Atlanta is so hard on tires. I see Drabick's taking 4. It looks like most of these drivers are taking 4 tires.
McCarty gets away, gets past Drabick. Is he going to make it out in front of Jeremy Gardner? Gardner is away and in the lead of this race.
Well, let's not forget Gardner, though, he's going to have a target on the back of that 57 machine there with Levi McCarty going to start on his outside if Gardner does choose the low lane on this start. So it's something he's going to have to think about, but you don't want to count out Drabick or the 14 machine and Chance Taylor, who's been super strong. Chance Taylor was running 3rd when all this went down, trying to run the 2 leaders down.
Everybody on the lead lap's got brand new shoes. I believe Jason Taylor and a few others are going to be opting for the wave around. 44 Travis Gilbert did get their lap back on this one, and I think they may be pulling it down this time. Ken, do you want to talk about another one of our sponsors right before we get to the end of this one?
Well, I would actually love to. Let's talk about Zach Graphics. So, Zach Graphics is a family-owned independent business with emphasis on Christian values, honesty, and commitment, located in Brownsburg, Indiana. Their service policy means treating each customer with the individual attention that they deserve. Contact them today at zachgraphics.com. Zach Graphics. We can put your design on almost anything.
Yes, indeed. Down to the wire here. Once we take the green, we're going to be 15 to go. Jeremy Gardner, your leader. Michael McCarthy. Not Michael McCarthy. Levi McCarty rolling off in second. Patrick Dravick in third.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Well, I'm having some struggles here towards the end of the race here tonight, but we're about to have a shootout right now, and I'm actually quite nervous about this one, having these two drivers, Gardner and McCarty, there up front. You know, it could be big problems for the rest of the field if these two guys start tangling. So all these cars are going to be backed up. Lights are out on the pace car. It's about to duck into pit lane. Why don't you take us to the green flag there, Jacob, and hopefully it's the last one that we'll see tonight.
Hungry drivers all around as the field continues to get settled. Pace car is into pit road. Jeremy Gardner takes him through the extreme scoring restart zone, and we are under green. Throw count spins it, takes out Tyler Justice, and we are back under yellow off the restart.
Yeah, and that was lucky for McCarty because he had a bad start too. It looks like he spun the tires, and that allowed Dravick to get by. But that's also going to put McCarty on this restart right behind Gardner. But we're going to go back and take a look at this incident here with Threlkeld, I guess.
It's what we've talked about. This place gets hot, and you just if you're in the wrong gear on the start, if you put too much pedal in it when you're trying to get rolling, it can just swipe around on you. And Tyler Justice, I know for a fact he is not happy about this one.
No, sometimes when you're running back there in the field like that, those incidents, I'm very well familiar with having these incidents happen there mid-pack and whatnot. And yeah, it's unfortunate. And sometimes those restarts do reach out and bite you, but it's a tough break for all those drivers involved here.
Very unfortunate indeed. And that's going to burn a couple of laps here, as everybody is on fresh tires after that one, except for a choice few that didn't end up taking the time to go down pit road. The ones that took the wave around on the last caution we had, Wesley Burke and Jason Taylor are going to be able to get in and get fresh tires on those cars this time.
Yeah, it looks like Wesley Burke now is headed onto pit lane, going to get that done. But back up front, oh my goodness. So this really changes things. You know, McCarty spun the tires on the start. McCarty's currently running in third. That's going to set this up to where McCarty is directly behind Gardner, unless Gardner chooses the outside lane on this restart. But I guarantee you, when Levi McCarty spun those tires on that start, he's very well at this next start not to do that. So Gardner might have a mirror full of that McCarty machine when this thing happens. And as luck would have it, that 0-7 machine, it might be caught in the middle of these two guys battling it out. So, you know, Dravik's going to have to drive, with a head and a focus on what those two drivers are doing and not get caught up in their mess.
Well, who else we saw extremely fast at the beginning of this one? Running away with Gardner, Chance Taylor going to be restarting on the outside of the second row here. So he might have a good view of the battle between Gardner and McCarty and might take advantage as well.
Yeah, another driver we haven't talked about too much, too, currently running in that fifth position, the number 86 of Timothy Wilms. Had a quiet night, as well as Daniel Cunningham there. You see Daniel Cunningham there in that green and black Ghost machine. Both those drivers super quiet. We haven't talked about them too much tonight, but they're both hunting for that top 5 right now.
Cunningham, Wilms, and Provo, 12, 10, and 12 positions up from their starting spot. Patience and just hitting your marks at the right time have put them up in a contention to possibly get the win of this thing if things don't go right for the leaders.
Well, here we are. So the lights are out atop the pace car, and Gardner has elected to take the bottom lane. That's going to put McCarty right behind him. Now, I'm curious if that outside lane might have the issue where it's a lot easier to spin the tires, and Dravic might have that same issue that McCarty had on the start. And Dravic's going to challenge probably pretty hard on this start, but try not to spin the tires. So we're going to see what happens. But this is going to be one heck of a battle here. We're going to have 11 laps to go when we send them green flag racing.
It is going to be a show for sure. Everybody trying to scuff those tires up, get as much grip on them as possible. Pace car leading them through 3 and turn 4, watching cars go almost into the wall. It was Corinne Smith further back. Everybody doubled up, lined up once again. Pace car pulling into the pit lane. Jeremy Gardner playing Pied Piper once again in Atlanta.
Yeah, and it looks like McCarty's going to be able to follow him. Like I said, that outside lane, Dravic struggled getting. We're back under caution. Oh, that 44. Oh, that's Travis Gilbert there, sideways headed into the wall there on the front stretch. Oh, it looks like we got the tune machine as well. Probably just came to a stop, just avoided hitting him. But we're going to go back and see exactly what happened here with Gilbert.
Everybody checking up a little bit, looking at the 44s on board, taking a look at the restart here. You get the green flag, and he just lost it. Comes back up over the nose of the 158, across, noses it into the wall. Michael Jones was able to get it back down. 158 has a black flag. I think might be either changing lanes or making passing to the inside before the yellow. And I did see that Jason Taylor as well ended up losing it as they were exiting turn 4.
Well, this is going to put McCarty back on the outside. He was able to get up into the second position because Dravic spun the tires. And so now McCarty's going to be on the outside. And it looks like that outside lane is, especially at the start for the leaders, is the place you don't want to be on a start because it's really loose up there. We've seen further back in the pack where the inside lane is a little bit more of a struggle, but with Gilbert. But hey, I want to give a shout out to that tube machine of Michael Jones. I mean, we've seen a lot of drivers. You see cars spinning in front of you. Some guys just stay in the throttle. There it is. We're looking at the number 2 machine. But Michael Jones, he's seen that incident happen in front of him, locked it up, came to a complete stop on the track, didn't hit anything. So good heads-up driving by that 2 car.
Very nice indeed. So he's got the Barks root beer on there. You like root beer, Ken?
Sometimes. A little too much sugar for me.
Yeah, same. We are less than 10
now that we got our sugar conversation over with. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We are less than 10 laps away from possibly going into either green-white checkers or crowning a winner. Will it be 3 in a row for Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner, or will Levi McCarty sneak it away from him at the last second? Patrick Dravic, Chance Taylor, Timothy Wilms, it's all to play for here at Atlanta.
Well, our producer, Eddie Smith, kind of talked to me a little bit about Levi McCarty, one of the last races. I think he missed here a couple of weeks ago, and talked about what an aggressive driver is and how fast he is. And if he can get the restart that he needs there on the outside lane, and the way he wheels that car, Gardner is going to have his hands full. Gardner is Mr. Smooth. Gardner, I have a lot of respect for the way he hustles that machine around, but Levi McCarty, man, he's out there and he really shows off with that thing. And I'm not sure, Gardner might still be suffering with a little bit of aero damage after that wall hit, but Gardner's going to be strong, but Levi McCarty is going to be aggressive.
He's got the skill. If he's got the tires and he's got the right position, he can gap this field like we saw Gardner do early on. We saw him on a tear a couple of seasons ago in the Xfinity Series, just ripping the top at every track he went, and he'd run away from everybody. McCarty's been pulling off that same strategy here at Atlanta tonight, and he's got the fresh tires along with everybody else. If he starts ripping that top, if he gets a good restart, we might see a drag race toward the end of this one.
Yeah, and I don't want to count. We're talking about these guys like they're actually going to win the race. You got some hungry drivers right behind them. You got Dravic, the 14 car, Chance Taylor. You got Timothy Wilms, Daniel Cunningham. All these guys hunting for this win. Silvers is back in this picture. So a lot of good drivers back there. Corin Smith, Samuel Joseph, Brian Provo. All these guys would like to probably get a win here. And if those guys start tangling, it could be very well in the cards.
It is all to play for with 7 laps to go at the line. Lights are off on the pace car, getting ready to pull it. Into the pit lane, Jeremy Gardner going to lead him once again through the extreme scoring restart zone, and we are green again. McCarty spins the tires, and Chance Taylor gets in the back of him. We are underway. We actually get going this time.
Yeah, I don't see any yellow flag coming out just yet. Gardner's able to pull away. Dravic's almost got McCarty clear. That outside lane, just you can't get the power down like you can on the inside, so McCarty's going to have to go back to third. It's going to open up a gap for Gardner. That's just what he needs, just some breathing room. And McCarty's going to have to figure out how to get around Dravic. But meanwhile, we got 3x3 or 3 wide back there.
Chance Taylor in the wall a couple times out of the quad oval, 3 wide with Samuel Joseph and Daniel Cunningham. 14 still to the outside, got Joseph to the inside, and he's lost a bunch of spots.
Yeah, they got it 2x2 at least for now. We're watching these cars really duke it out here. Oh, in the wall again. You can see that car just barely kiss that wall. We're coming up to 5 to go next time by. Gardner continuing to lead this thing. We got a battle back there for the 5th position. It looks like we got Samuel Joseph taking a look there in the 24 on the inside of Chance Taylor.
Chance Taylor into the wall again out of 4. 5 laps to go at the line. Samuel Joseph dives it down to the bottom. Taylor might be hurt after that one, and as he rips the top as they make their way exit onto the backstretch.
Yeah, but don't count out Taylor just yet because Samuel Joseph just slapped the wall. So that puts Samuel Joseph back under threat, but that outside lane strong. Oh, they get together. Going to cross. Samuel Joseph almost gets into the wall, but the 14's got the advantage as they go across the start-finish line.
Everybody under a blanket further back. Jeremy Gardner still in the lead of this one. Patrick Dravic pulling away. Levi McCarty trying to track him down further back as we were side by side with Chance Taylor for that 6th spot.
Chance Taylor back in the wall again. Daniel Cunningham just a little bit further back. It was kind of a pinball in that machine. Kind of got shuffled back as we're watching some more action here. Brian Provo now looking to the inside of Chance Taylor. You see that black and gold machine on the inside. Back up front here for the 2nd position, McCarty trying to get by Patrick Dravic.
This is not what they want. They want to get together and run to try and catch Gardner. McCarty barely not touching the wall, ripping the top as he gets the momentum to try and track down Dravic. Wilms now tracking them down.
Next time by will be 2 to go. So Dravic defending that outside line. He knows how strong it is. McCarty's going to take a look down on the inside, try to get a little bit of a run as they go across through the tri-oval here. I imagine Dravic's going to stay on the outside. That's where all the power is, especially on the fresh tires, and that's what he does. Pulls it up high. McCarty in the wall. That's going to slow him down. So we're going to come by. We're going to get the white flag next time by.
McCarty kicked it up a little too much. If we are uninterrupted through 3 and 4, we do get the white flag. Patrick Dravic now 7/10 back on Jeremy Gardner. Has to back it down into 3 and 4. Gardner rounding through 4. He's going to get the white flag. Presented by Glove Station.
Yep, the gloves are holding that white flag in hand. Gardner is doing what he needs. Can he do it 3 in a row? He's just a couple of corners away, bringing that 57 machine around. Just behind him, Dravic and McCarty still trying to fight out, but McCarty's lost a little bit of a gap. Timothy Williams just behind him, but we're watching Gardner come around for the last 2 corners.
Gardner through 3 and 4. They're not going to touch him. Big Daddy with the 3-peat. 3 in a row for Jeremy Gardner. He wins at Atlanta.
Dravic follows home close in 2nd, and then Levi McCarty will wrap up your top 3. Wow, what a race.
What a race. What a finish. And when we get back, we're going to have your unofficial results as well as your interviews with the top 3 finishers. We'll be right back.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your Glove Station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
What a race we had here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'll take you through your unofficial race results. Jeremy Gardner from pole to flag wins 3 in a row. Patrick Drabick brings it home in second. Levi McCarty from 10th to 3rd. Timothy Wilms in 4th. Samuel Yosef 5th. Chance Taylor 6th. Ryan Provo finishes 7th. Daniel Cunningham 8th. Barrett Morton in 9th. And James Silvers rounds out your top 10.
Warren Smith will finish P11. Tyler Evans, P12. Travis Gilbert will finish 13th. Tyler Justice will finish 14th. Jamie Lipke, 15th. Wesley Burke finishes 16th. Logan Threlkeld, 17th. Jason Taylor, 18th. James Kaufman, 19th. And Noga Hogard, the first car a lap down, finishes 20th.
Bobby Bender in 21st. Michael Jones finishes 22nd. Doug Macedo brings it home 23rd. Ashton Nolan in 24th. Michael Kostick, after that incident in turn 4, brings it home 25th. Chuck Phelps in 26th. Jacob Ellingson in 27th. And Thaddeus Friel was our race control tonight, so he did not take the green. Well, it'll be 3 weeks in a row that we get to talk to this gentleman first. Big Daddy, Jeremy Gardner. This is Jake Linke in the booth. You got a copy?
Sir.
So we know you were looking forward to this one. This is one of your favorite tracks, and this is an advantageous place to have that set up at. You took the pole, you took the win. Take us through that race.
It was a fun race. I mean, we got out to a pretty big lead there early on. I don't know if I was just driving out of my head, but it was super, super slick early on. Like I was just trying to navigate up and down the track, just trying to find some grip. It just felt like the rear was trying to slide out, and Chance was sticking with me there for a little bit. Nice to have my teammate up there with me, and then Levi ended up catching us. I'm assuming he probably saved early on. I probably should have done that too with the gap we had, but overall, fun night. As loose as the car was, I honestly expected a lot more cautions early on. So kudos to all the guys tonight. That was extremely fun.
Yes, indeed, it was a fun to watch too. After the pit cycle, we saw you and McCarty neck and neck for almost 30 laps there. Did you think he was going to give you a little bit more of what you got than you did tonight at when the move at Phoenix happened?
Yeah, I mean, I came in expecting it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's going to be some hard racing. I mean, I think it puts on for a good show. So, I mean, it is what it is. That was fun. I mean, Highline dominant. I mean, obviously he'd have the runoff, so I was just trying to manage behind him there and just kind of push more towards the end. But the cautions fell, so unfortunately we wasn't able to race it out how I really wanted to.
Fair enough. But at the end, you got the win, and that marks 3 wins in a row for you. Can you tell us who to thank for putting you on the top step of the podium?
Yeah, Pat and Jamie at JLR, appreciate them guys, everything they do. Lincoln Tech, Safe 22 for being on the car, everything they do for GLR. Cruisin Classics and Nasties, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, InVets, Above the Yellow Line. Of course, y'all guys up in the booth at V-Speed, appreciate y'all. I can't wait to get back and watch it. My guys, Premier Racing Setups, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yes, indeed. See you next week. Congrats on the win.
Well, that was our race winner there. Why don't I talk to Patrick Drabick there? So, Patrick Drabick, this is Ken Huber and Jacob Lemke in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. It looks like you had a pretty good night. I want to talk about your race. So it started off, you're just hanging out at the top 5 until that first pit cycle. But one of my first questions I want to talk to you is when you came back out of the pits, you were leading, and you seen Levi McCarty and Jeremy Gardner coming up on you, and you kind of just trying to fend those guys off. Why don't you talk about your race tonight?
Which part of the race? That was a bunch of
Well,
questions all at once.
well, yeah, well, that part of the race
That
after
part of the
pit
race.
stop, yeah.
All right, I got it, Ken. All right, let's do this. Yeah, well, qualifying didn't go so well for me, and so I kind of burned up my tires in the first part of that first run before we came to pit stops, just trying to make up track position. I honestly started to fall back a little bit there, so I think I was one of the first cars to hit pit road, and I did it intentionally. Again, just trying to make up some track position, knowing those guys were gonna, eventually catch me. I just wanted to lead a couple laps, grab a couple bonus points. But yeah, when they started catching me, and then when they did catch me and put me 3 wide, I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
But what a race, and man, so much fun.
I don't know if you knew all the drama that was happening with those two guys, but when they caught you, I was like, "Oh, Drabic is just going to be holding on because these two guys are after each other. He's just caught in the middle." But one of my second questions there is
Yeah,
those restarts. So, you ended up starting on the outside, starting on the inside, and it seemed
yeah.
like who was up front there on the outside lane, it was very easy to spin the tires. What was it like out there on those restarts?
Horrible on the outside, absolutely terrible. I don't know what it was about the outside line or whatever it was, but a couple times I was down on the inside there late. Easily was able to stay with Gardner as the outside line kind of got all mixed up. And from what I understand, the two cautions came from guys on the outside line that spun and clipped some guys on the inside. And then I had my shot at it. I didn't do so well on the outside, so it was treacherous out there. You really had to kind of ease into the gas. If you got up into the RPMs in second gear, the back end would just break loose. Yeah, it was treacherous, but glad on the last restart I was on the inside, able to scoot away and bring this thing home in second place.
Yeah, great job on that. Well, who do you have to thank to get you into that second position tonight?
Well, big shout out to my hero, my co-host on
Oh, thanks, man.
yeah, you too, Ken. On Thursday nights, come check us out on Go Talk. Eddie Smith, he's the man, the myth, the legend. You guys up in the broadcast, you and Jacob doing an outstanding job, and I can't say thank you enough. Jam Printing and Promotions and all that they do. I mean, if you see, I'm not wearing one of the hats. It's obviously my Willie B hat, but head over to the web store, buy some stuff, help support, Go Locker Racing, help support a veteran-owned veteran owned business and Jam Printing and Promotions. And of course, I run them on the side of my truck on Friday nights and everything else. Cruisin Classics and Nasties are amazing. They've been with us for years at this point in time. Had an incredible time at Cruisin Classics and Nasties a couple weeks ago when we traveled out there to Columbus, Ohio. So if you're tuned in, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Everybody at V Speed, most of them are cool. You guys are cool. There's some not so cool people. Logan Threckeld. Alexander PCs, love them to death. They have built over 20 PCs for us. Every veteran that has received a computer has come from Alexander PCs. The computer that goes with our mobile setup is from them. The one that I race is from them. And then, oh, by the way, we're getting another one in that we're going to do something really, really cool with. Just spoke to the owner, TJ, today. So stay tuned for that. We're getting a brand new PC from Alexander PCs that we're going to do a giveaway with.
That
And then, of
is
course,
pretty awesome.
and then GTR simulators. I mean, every veteran that gets a sim rig from us nowadays, the chassis comes from GTR simulators. And then my teammates and everybody that just makes Goat Locker Racing go. You guys are all amazing people.
Well, thank you, Patrick. And again, congratulations on that second place finish. We'll see you next week at the Glen.
All right. See you, Ken.
All right. Well, that was Patrick Drabick. I think you're standing by with third place there, Jacob.
Yes, indeed. I have the privilege to talk to Mr. Levi McCarty. This is Jake Lanky in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, privilege. I'll try not to let you down.
Well, you and Gardner have been putting on some barn burner battles from what I have seen in this series, especially after that pit cycle where you two were neck and neck for about 30 laps. Take us through that.
Yeah, it was fun. I really liked the setup tonight, and I felt like my long run speed was on par with the the 42, and I felt like I had a good chance to win there if I was able to keep the lead. So we were battling back and forth. I was running the high line in 1 and 2, and was able to hold them off. And then we got to Pat there, and it got a little crazy for a couple corners, and got by him, and I felt like I had a good chance to win the race there if it would have went green. Um, but that's how it is. Sometimes you get a caution, and then bunch of cautions after that, and it just never worked out to where we could get up there and battle again. So overall, happy with the long run speed, and definitely something to build on.
Yes, indeed. Jeremy Gardner made a comment earlier saying that this was definitely a highline dominant track. And from what I have seen of you, be it in this or the trucks or the Xfinity, you can turn damn near any track into a highline dominant track. Are there any tracks later on this season you're looking forward to for just that reason?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I take pride in being able to run the high line and trying to make speed up there. Definitely looking forward to Homestead, and I believe Kansas is on the schedule as well. We'll be good there, and we'll be up there ripping the boards for sure.
Yes, indeed. And last but not least, who do you have to thank for putting you on the podium tonight?
Thanks to all the sponsors at GLR that make racing possible. iRacing, MK Fire Design, Sim Motion, Harpoon Designs, Zach Graphics, and Cruisin Classics. I appreciate them for on the series and giving us an awesome place to come and battle it out on Wednesday nights.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time. Congrats on the podium. We'll see you at the line.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Ken. That was our third place finisher. And with that, our interviews are completed and our time at Atlanta is complete.
Yeah, but next week we're going road course racing, and I love road course racing. So Watkins Glen's going to put on quite a show here. I know we got a lot of good road course racing drivers in the field here, so I think Watkins Glen's going to be another one to watch.
I am going to miss that race. I'm going to be watching from the sidelines, watching you and watching Eddie likely take over and put on an excellent broadcast. You two are excellent with the road racing, and I cannot wait to tune in.
Well, don't cut yourself short. You're pretty awesome with it as well, though. So going to miss you here next week, but I know you got to do what you got to do, and we'll see what happens.
Yes, indeed. For everyone here at V-Speed, I'm Jacob Lanke here with my co-commentator Ken Huber, Eddie Smith on production, talented Dougie Beard providing your cameras. Thank you to Goat Locker and everybody that helps put these on. We'll see you next week.